Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Everything Medicare Podcast. Today is Saturday, March the 23rd, 2019, and my goodness, where did the year go so far? We're almost a quarter of the way through. That's insanity to me. Starting last week, folks, we started doing this 2-episode-a-week system to see how you would like it, and we had great responses. So we're going to keep it up, at least for the moment. It doesn't mean it'll be a permanent thing. If you do like it, please let us know. It helps us out a tremendous deal. Today we're talking about Medicare seminars. Okay, this is a very, very controversial topic that I'm going to talk to you about today. Very controversial. A lot of people in the Medicare industry won't like what I have to say. A lot of people in the Medicare industry will reject what I'm about to say. But that's mainly because they participate in these seminars and they usually benefit from them pretty heavily. I have done seminars myself, folks. And one thing that I can tell you is I've sat in a seminar many, many times. I've presented seminars many, many times. And I'm not saying that it wouldn't be beneficial for an agent or a broker. Because in their mindset, they get you in a room, a lot of people together in a room, and they are standing in front of everybody as the teacher, as the expert. But 9 times out of 10, they barely know more than you do. And the seminar rules cope to that. They actually do not let people find out true information. This is serious. I'm not just being ridiculous or outlandish or conspiracy theories. There are legit laws and rules from Medicare, from CMS, the Center for Medicaid and Medicare Services, that prevent, in my opinion, they prevent the presenter, the agent, whoever's providing the information, from telling you the full story. I'm serious. This is how crazy this is. If this is your first time listening, this is the Everything Medicare Podcast. My name is Christian Brindle, and I'm your host, where every single week I bring you at least one podcast, but lately it's been 2, where I discuss your Medicare, your Medicaid, your Social Security, and everything that has to do with your retirement. I started in this industry when I was incredibly young. I was raised around it. I had a dad who has been working with people on Medicare for nearly 30 years. So I had a great teacher, a great person to guide me through this stuff and help make it easier for me at a very young age. Basically, folks, I make this podcast through the eyes of the listener, you, someone who is on Medicare or about to get onto Medicare, who is just confused, who doesn't know what to do. And it's such a joke of a system, in my opinion, and that's the reason why I made this podcast, because they make information, real quality information, almost impossible to get. There might be a time at some point where they try to take down my podcast and they try to ban me from doing it because I'm exposing all of this. And I'm not trying to sound like a conspiracy theorist here, because it's not a conspiracy. This is full-on rules and regulations that information cannot be provided unless it's in a certain way that they deem approvable. And 9 times out of 10, the way they deem approvable is leaving out huge chunks of information that you need to know. That's right. I'm of the belief that the Medicare system is set up right now. It's not impossible to figure out, and it's not impossible to guide through and navigate. But what it is impossible to do is, if you have any responsibilities, any hobbies, if you work, we all have busy lives. It's impossible to figure this stuff out on your own by sitting down in front of your computer and Googling things. Because there's nothing you can Google about Medicare that doesn't swarm you with ads requesting you to fill out surveys for free information, and then you get bombarded by these nobodies that say they're experts but probably just started that day from all over the country. People that don't have their best interests in mind, people that are sitting in a boiler room. And So I made this podcast, we designed this podcast and I try to always keep in mind the eyes and the ears of you listening, the person on the Medicare, and what I can really tell you honestly without any biases, without any selfish reasons behind it to benefit myself. I'm trying to provide you information that's going to help you. Because me providing you this information doesn't benefit me at all. I mean, it puts me in a situation where I can be looked at as an expert. And that does help me in my company. I'll be the first to disclose that. But if I provide information that's helpful, if I provide information that nobody else is willing to provide, because let's face it, if you, the consumer, knows how this system works and how such a joke it is, then you are going to be empowered. And a lot of agents out there, a lot of insurance experts, people in the insurance industry don't want you to be knowledgeable. They want to be able to take advantage of you, to get them to take your money and put it into their pocket, and don't really care if you're benefited at all. And that's sick to me. That's sickening. I've never looked at it that way. I've always looked at it as a broker, as an advisor, as a representative, that if you benefit from the service I'm providing you, if you benefit from the policy that I'm recommending or the insurance company that I'm recommending, if you truly benefit, meaning that you have a problem, you need things that are going to be taken care of and covered, and you have specific needs and preferences. If I provide you something that solves those problems, then there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to benefit and I'm able to benefit as a result, because I'm able to get your business. But I've earned your business the right way, a quality way. So that's why I'm presenting the information the way I do. Like I said, there might be some point down the road where we get taken down because we're just kind of pulling the sheets off of this whole thing. Stay with me into segment 2, and I will talk about seminars and why they're just not beneficial for you. Stay right there. Hello, folks. Welcome back to segment 2 of the Everything Medicare Podcast. Okay, so segment 1, we talked about the topic of our episode today, and that's Medicare seminars and why I personally don't believe they have any more value than, let's see, well, I got a good one for this. I don't think they're any more valuable than the mailers that they're printed on to advertise them. I mean, they just don't hold any weight whatsoever, and I'll tell you why. I know this because, like I said before, I've attended these things, I've presented these things, I know the rules and regulations that are put behind them. It's not always the presenter's fault. It's more so that the system is designed that if someone's going to sit down for an educational seminar, the rules are clearly state that they cannot be told everything they need to know to make an informed decision. Truth be told, honest to God, it's ridiculous. Let's break this down. So, if you've ever been to a seminar, you might notice that seminars strictly go over one specific topic. 9 times out of 10, a seminar is going to be held by either a private insurance company specifically or an agent, such as myself, that is only talking about one insurance company and one product. In the Medicare world, they have different types of seminars. They have sales seminars. And what a sales seminar is it's the objective is to sell you on one specific product, whether it's good for you or not. Honest to God, these are the Medicare rules, the Center for Medicaid and Medicare's rules. So, sales seminars. In a sales seminar, the presenter, most of the time it's going to be a private insurance company representative. And I mean, what makes you think they're going to be objective? I mean, okay, let me put this into perspective. Let's say there's 3 similar type of plans in your area. Let's say one is through XYZ insurance company, one is through insurance company number 2, one's through insurance company number 3. Let's say insurance company number 2 is holding a seminar, and they have the worst plan in the market. There's all kinds of negatives to it. It'd just be an awful fit for you personally. And you attend a seminar, you're sitting through an hour-long presentation, basically trying to convince you that it's the best plan for you and not mentioning one thing you need to know about the other 2 companies that may be much better fits for you. It's ridiculous. It really is. You cannot get more biased than the insurance company directly. Seriously. They all think they're number one. All of them. Trust me, I know. So much of my life is taken up by insurance company representatives trying to convince me that their product is better than everybody else's, and there can only be one. Now, don't get me wrong, there's certain situations where that insurance company might work for a certain person, but not always, and the seminars are not going to tell you that. They're not going to tell you, they're not going to have integrity and tell you if something's better. So that's where the insurance company is coming from. It's a sales meeting on their product, folks. It's not going to teach you anything. And most seminars are sales seminars. And the specific rules from Medicare on a sales seminar, I bet I'm going to get in trouble for telling you all this. I bet you anything. And if I do, I will make it known. I hope I don't become a martyr for this. Basically, a sales seminar, the rules for it from the Center for Medicaid and Medicare Services, Medicare. The specific rules is you pick a plan. You pick a product from a certain insurance company and a certain plan. You can only discuss that plan. Period. And they send secret shoppers to sit in these seminars to make sure the agent doesn't break these rules. Honest to God. It's happened to me. So, let's say I'm hosting a sales seminar, and I'm talking about, in our imaginary scenario with the 3 insurance companies, XYZ insurance company number 2, and insurance company number 3. Let's say I'm holding a seminar for XYZ insurance company, and someone raises their hand to ask a question about another product with the same insurance company. Oh, that should be allowed, right? Wrong. I am not allowed to discuss anything other than that one product. I can't answer a question. Because if the secret shopper happens to be in the seminar from Medicare directly, and they hear me breaking any of these rules, I'm in big trouble. Medicare isn't out to help you. Medicare is out to hurt you. In my opinion, my humble opinion. Take that with a grain of salt if you don't agree with me. But why else would they have a system like this? Where you go to a Medicare meeting, you might not even know too much about the topic. You're just thinking you're going to learn more about Medicare. Maybe you're turning 65, and it's completely biased, and it's required to be biased and completely harmful and provide inaccurate and incomplete data. Buy Medicare directly. Medicare is supposed to be the one that enforces all the insurance companies and all the insurance professionals to make sure that they're not harming you, when in reality they have rules and regulations that harm you, that keep information from you. I'm serious. They're like secret police officers to make sure that we are not providing any extra information other than what the seminar is registered for. So that means if you go to a seminar, you hear the presentation, let's say the presentation was, presented by someone that was witty, very charismatic. They made the product sound really good, and you fall for it. You sign up for it, and you're spending $10,000 more out of pocket in total costs. Let's say drug costs, medical bills. And you could have saved $5,000, $10,000 with the other insurance company, but you'd never know because you went to that freaking seminar. Avoid these seminars, folks. They're a joke. They're a freaking joke. They're designed to get you in a room so sharks can take advantage of you. And most agents nowadays are sharks. They don't give two shits about you. Excuse my language. I'm sorry. I don't mean to curse, but I just get really fired up about this stuff, folks. It's ridiculous. And the only way that I think that we can start a movement and have change is by pulling the sheets off and exposing that ridiculous broken system. Okay, so that's one type of seminar, the sales seminar. The other type of seminar is called the educational seminar. Okay, so that sounds a little more friendly, does it not? They have their problems too. Educational Medicare seminars, oh my gosh, they're a little better, I suppose, but basically the presenter is allowed to go through Medicare supplements and Medicare Advantage information, very cookie cutter information. They're not able to use terminology that goes outside of the rules and regulations. They're not allowed to word something a certain way. Very cookie cutter basic information that you could get from a YouTube video, or you could get 10 times the information from one of our podcasts. Very cookie cutter. So let's say you're in a seminar, an educational seminar. They're going over Medicare supplement plans. You raise your hand, you ask about it, which insurance companies in our market have the best Medicare supplements. They cannot answer that. They can't answer it. It's illegal. It's against the freaking law. Or which Medicare supplement company has the lowest rates, or which one has had the lowest rate increases over the last couple of years. Can't answer it. Against the law. If they do, they're committing a crime. Breaking rules, regulations, violating federal law, if almost. That's what a joke this is. Now, what they are allowed to do is they're allowed to set up a separate meeting aside from that, like let's say another day with you. But you're not going there for a private meeting. You're going there to get educated on something. No obligation, no pressure. You're in a public environment. But it's real. The cards are really stacked against you in this environment. Stay away from it. Seriously, do yourself a favor. One last thing. Well, I'll save it for segment 3. Stay put. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for staying put. Thank you for making it this far into the podcast, and thank you for caring about your own education on what your Medicare choices are. This is the Everything Medicare Podcast, segment 3. I wanted to wrap up my conversation about Medicare seminars, and I had one final thing I wanted to get to, but we ran out of time in segment 2, so I'm going to get to it now in segment 3. So, another thing you got to keep in mind, I've talked about this in our other episodes, and some think I'm just bashing other agents and professionals over the head, but I kind of have to, because there's so many of them that are so incompetent and just so, it's scary to me. It's like you wouldn't let a doctor that, just started medical school, let's say. He got his bachelor's, let's say, or his associate's degree, and then he just started medical school. You're not going to let him perform an operation on you, are you? In the Medicare world, if someone has to be able to pass a test, an insurance test to get their insurance license, which 90+% of the test doesn't have anything to do with what we deal with on a day-to-day basis. Another joke. So the people that you're talking to, most of them are so underqualified to provide you quality information. So you probably know where I'm going with this. I don't mean to beat a dead horse here, but so many times the person holding out the seminar, not only are they shackled by the rules, secret shoppers and Medicare and everything on what they can and cannot talk about, whether it's helpful for you or not. I talked about in segment 2, a lot of times these are going to be held by specific insurance companies. So They might know their stuff, but they're biased, 100% biased. And why do you want to work with someone who's biased? You don't know if they're telling you the best thing or not. It's insane. It's a madhouse. It's insanity. And the other time, most of the time, every now and then you might have someone that's really seasoned, been doing this a long time, had a lot of success, helped a lot of people, holding out the seminar, but usually not. Usually those people are too busy. They have busy lives of their own because they take care of so many people. They work with so many people, like myself. I don't do seminars anymore for multiple reasons, but that's one of the smaller reasons. The main reason is I don't think they're beneficial to myself or you. That's why I stopped. That's why our company stopped. They're just a joke. But the other person, since the seasoned people are usually too busy, don't have time, think they're a joke like myself, just all the above. So usually if it's an independent person, it's a brand new, unseasoned agent. And remember what I've told you, the statistics are real. 90% of people that work in the insurance industry as brokers are out of the industry in 3 years. 90%. So that means 90% of the brokers that you encounter in your everyday life, whether they're at a booth. I've done previous episodes about booths. If you haven't heard it, go back and listen to it. I'm very similar approach to what I'm taking here, but different reasoning. Booths, seminars, just you see them wherever. They're within their first 3 years. And that's scary to me. That's terrifying to me. Because you're taking advice from these people that literally, if you have an accident, if your health goes down the drain, could impact you severely. As far as you're out of pocket, what's covered and what's not covered. They might not even know to tell you that something's not covered that you might really need. They're not going to be as thorough. They don't know that much, period. You ever read that book, Outliers? To be an expert in something, you have to spend 10,000 hours in it. I've done that in this. You can't do that in 3 years. 10,000 hours of experience makes someone an expert. Period. You can't advise and teach on what you don't know. And these people do not know very much about Medicare in comparison to someone that really knows a lot. I don't want to say like me. There's a lot of others that are out there that are great besides myself. But you get my point. Take my advice, folks. Stay away from the seminars. If you don't believe me, go to one and see for yourself. Go to one that's specifically about one Medicare Advantage plan in your area and ask them about a Plan G or a Plan F. They'll squirm. They won't answer it. They'll say, I can talk to you after the seminar. We can set up a separate meeting or something like that. If you don't believe me, test it out. Folks, I really appreciate you listening. I appreciate your support. And as always, I do this to help people. And if you're on Medicare already and you're not satisfied with what you have, if you are turning 65 and you're just not sure which direction to go, and there's 3 states that we do business in right now: Florida, Idaho, Utah. If, and only if, you live in those 3 states at this time, we're going to be expanding to more states as the years go by, but if you live in one of those 3 states, and you'd like to talk with me, free consultation, no obligation. I mean, you know that I'm going to have your best interest in mind. I don't have any biases, folks. I'm a Medicare specialist expert. I work with all the top carriers in the country. I don't benefit by recommending one or another. You can give our office a call, free, no cost, no obligation, consultation. And I can take a look at your situation, see if you can do better. Worst case thing that can happen, if you are curious, is I can tell you you're in the best spot and then you can sleep better at night. Worst thing that can happen. Our office number is 801-255-5340, 801-255-5340. My name is Christian Brindle, and my company's name is Christian Brindle Insurance Services, and I'm part of a larger organization called Brindle Insurance Group. We're family-owned, been doing this forever. We'd love to help you if you'd like to be helped, if you think you need help. As always, folks, if you're not in one of the 3 states that we work in, head over to Amazon, pick up my book, Medicare Guidance. It's $5.50 right now, and someday I might just have to raise the price because I feel like I'm just giving it away for that price. But that book will teach you more about Medicare and what your choices are in layman's terms than anything out there right now. It's a 50-page book, easy read, no fluff, and there's a chapter on everything you need to know to make an accurate, informed decision. If you can get through that book cover to cover, you'll know more about Medicare than 90% of the population, including most agents. Appreciate you listening, and I can't wait to talk to you next week on Monday. Thank you. Have a great weekend.